Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show that was also known as the fifth ABBA. Mamma mia! Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the DC Comics deck building game Rivals, Green Lantern vs. Sinestro from Cryptozoic. DC Comics deck building game Rivals, Green Lantern vs. Sinestro from Cryptozoic Entertainment, two players take on the roles of the iconic DC Comics characters Green Lantern and Sinestro. This game is the second in a series that began a few years ago with the DC Comics deck building game Rivals, Batman vs. the Joker, and it kind of continues into the confrontation, the larger game set confrontations. Essentially how this game works is one player takes on the role of Sinestro, one player takes on the role of the Green Lantern. Each side has three oversized hero cards, one that has cost 9, one that has cost 12, and one that has cost 15. And you place the 9 on top, 12 in the middle, 15 on bottom. Now, essentially, what you're going to do is try to take down your opponent, but you can't do it through regular power like you do in the base game. Instead, as you are going through and you're buying cards, you're getting stronger hands, just like in the regular DC Comics deck building game. At various times, you can declare a confrontation. Now, when you declare a confrontation, essentially what that means is, I don't know that I've got the power right now in my hand to take you down, but I think by the end of my turn, with all the cards I'm drawing and maybe some combinations I can come up with, I can take down your hero. So that's what you do. You declare a confrontation. You then go ahead, you play your hand, you get up as much power as you can, and you try to take down your hero's top card, the showing card, be it the 9, the 12, or the 15. Now, if you go ahead and you can equal or exceed that, everything's looking good. However, just as you have certain cards that say confrontation that give you more bonuses during a confrontation, the person who is defending may have block cards, and block cards essentially increase the price of his oversized hero card. So what that does is it can effectively block your confrontation. So as you're going through, you're trying to make those combinations work for you to get enough power to take down your enemy, and your enemy, of course, he can go ahead and try to play those block cards in order to increase his cost to save himself. But if you go ahead and you engage in a confrontation and you are unable to take down your enemy, you cannot spend that power on the lineup. You simply have to put your cards away. You lose all the power that turn if you can't take down your enemy. Other than that, the game works more or less very similarly to the way the regular DC Comics deck building game works, and you can check out my reviews on those games here. I'm not going to go too much into depth in those for those basic rules for this game. But know that it is very, very similar, but it does have this confrontation mechanic, and it plays almost identically to the Batman vs. the Joker series that came out a few years ago, and very similarly to the Confrontations deck. So as you're going through, you're trying these confrontations to take down your enemy. Now, you can win an instant win if you can take down all three of your enemy's cards. If you can completely defeat all of their cards, you are the winner of the game. However, if by the time the main deck runs out, if no one has taken down all three of their enemy's cards, you go ahead, you count up your victory points on all of your cards, and whoever has the most victory points wins the DC Comics deck building game Rivals, Green Lantern vs. Sinestro. So, again, I'm a huge fan of the DC Comics deck building game. It's just a fun deck building game. It was the DC Comics deck building game was the first deck building game I played that made me understand deck building. I had played one or two before that, and I did the concept I didn't get, and I didn't enjoy those games. But I played DC Comics deck building game, and it blew me away. I was not. In fact, Cryptozoic sent that to me, like 6 or 7 years ago. I got it, and I'm thinking, I'm not a big fan of just card games. And I played it, and I'm like, but before I played it, I was like, I wasn't excited. But I played it, it blew me away. I loved it, and I've loved every iteration I've played since. I like these Rivals versions because they're just two-player games, and it's more thematic because it's these antagonists from the comics, and so that's great, and it works very well thematically. It almost plays more like, in some ways, a game of Star Realms, say, than the regular DC Comics deck building game, and then it's that one-on-one confrontation there, and I really like that. Confrontation system works really well. You're scrambling to get all your points out there, and you just are dreading in the back of your head, well, what if he's got some block cards? I'm screwed. but it's really fun, and it works really well. It's a great, relatively brief game that is thematic, and it's fun, and there's almost kind of no narrative quality, as much as there can be in a deck building game, to this in the Confrontations, and I really like it a lot. Where does it fall kind of in the pantheon here? I think I preferred the Batman version just because I like Batman and the Joker. They're more iconic to me. I like them better, but I collected a lot of DC Comics growing up, and I did collect Green Lantern, and I love Green Lantern too. And this is a fun pair of rivals to match up against each other. Like Superman and Lex Luthor in the Confrontations game. I mean, that was cool. I would really like to see more of these games. I'd like to see another big box Confrontations version of it as well. I think it's just a fun idea and a great way to enjoy the DC Comics deck building game. So again, recommendation for the discriminating from the discriminating gamer for the DC Comics deck building game Green Lantern Rivals, Green Lantern versus Sinestro is: if you like DC Comics deck building game, you're looking for a great 2-player version, go ahead, buy it. You're going to enjoy it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. We are The Discriminating Gamer. And ladies and gentlemen, you are aware that One Night in Bangkok was actually written by the two gentlemen from ABBA, and in fact, it was part of their 1986 musical, Chess. And of course, if you listen to the lyrics of One Night in Bangkok, it is all about playing a big chess game. There's a little tip from your Uncle Cody.
Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
3-4. If you have a card that says block on it, you have to discard it. 2, 3, 4. 5.
You suck.